The Cambodian Genocide occurred between 1975 and 1979. It began when Khmer Rouge, led by Pol Pot, staged a coup d'etat in April 1975 and took government control. They immediately evacuated all people from the cities and relocated them to collective living arrangements in the countryside. It was here that millions of Cambodians were tortured, malnourished, worked, and eventually many were killed by the Khmer Rouge. The genocide was stopped in 1979 by a Vietnamese invasion. The death toll of the genocide was not 100% clear, however, between 1.5 and 4 million people were said to have been killed. The Khmer Rouge sought to socially engineer society through breaking down class divisions, promoting collectivism and communism, increasing agricultural output, and cleansing Cambodia of all people and things which were said to be corrupted by Western influence. In the words of Narath Tan, the Cambodian genocide was, quote, hell on earth, end quote. Vietnam's invasion into Cambodia sparked the UN to ask the question, should we intervene? The UN held a discussion regarding UN involvement in Cambodia, and there was much disagreement and confusion, as well as hesitation on the part of the UN Security Council. A quote that displays the UN Security Council's lack of understanding regarding the Cambodian genocide is as follows. It's from a Chinese leader. I do not understand why some people want to remove Pol Pot. It is true that he made some mistakes in the past, but now he's leading the fight against the Vietnamese aggressors. The UN Security Council was truly ignorant as to what was going on in Cambodia and in the role of the Khmer Rouge, and therefore how could they act effectively? At this point, the UN General Assembly took control of dealing with the Cambodia problem. In July 1981, the UN General Assembly organized an international conference on Kampuchea in New York. The conference called for a withdrawal of foreign forces, a restoration of Kampuchea, also known as Cambodia's independence, and a commitment to non-interference in the nation's internal affairs. After many conferences and dialogue between four Cambodian political parties during 1989, especially, Cambodia underwent intense diplomatic activity during 1990. The 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council, which were China, France, Russia, the UK, and the US, created a comprehensive summary that outlined the guiding principles in working towards a resolution for Cambodia. The main points addressed in the comprehensive summary revolved mainly around the achievement of free, fair, and peaceful democratic elections in Cambodia. This goal would then be achieved through the UN's work and constant presence as a transitional authority in Cambodia to keep the peace and maintain internal stability. In 1991, between October 1st and 23rd, a second session of the Paris Conference on Cambodia took place. The 4 Cambodian political parties and the 5 permanent members of the Security Council were present. The peace plan that was declared during the conference was known as the Agreements on a Comprehensive Political Settlement of the Cambodia Conflict. This plan included an agreement regarding political control, independence, territorial integrity, neutrality, national unity, and the rehabilitation and reconstruction of Cambodia. In addition, the UN Security Council established UNTAC, the United Nations Transitional Authority in Cambodia. The UNTAC helped schedule and facilitate democratic elections, which were held in May 1993. The elections were won by Fun Sinpec, and once these elections took place and concluded successfully in September 1993, UNTAC forces withdrew from Cambodia. The UN played a significant role in the reconstruction, renovation, and democratization of Cambodia's national government after the Cambodian genocide. However, their ability to get involved and work to halt the genocide while it was taking place was virtually non-existent. The UN could have been much more involved during the time of the genocide to help the millions of Cambodians who were being systematically exterminated by the Khmer Rouge regime. The UN did not stand by their values of morality and did not uphold the phrase, never again, which was agreed upon at the UN Genocide Convention of 1948 regarding genocide. If the UN had actively intervened, it is quite possible that the Cambodian genocide could have been avoided. When assessing the UN's direct response to the Cambodian genocide, it must be noted that they did not immediately intervene. Their lack of intervention while the genocide was taking place was most definitely a factor that contributed to the sheer scope of the genocide. Even with the knowledge that a great injustice was occurring inside Cambodia, the UN did not intervene. The UN stood aside as a bystander to the mass and unjust murder of approximately 3 million people. However, the UN did not stay totally uninvolved. Even though their response was delayed, they did work tirelessly to liberate the Cambodian government from the Vietnamese, reconstruct the nation, and work with the people to move towards democratic elections. The UN definitely had the power to do a lot more, but they did do something, and this work ultimately had a positive effect on steering Cambodia in the right direction.